Hi, everybody. Sorry I've been away so long. I've had a very busy, however long, many days it's been. I also had a birthday. Yay! So that was fun. And I got to take a little time off and celebrate. So it was a good time. It was just distracting me from coming back and talking to you guys. Now, I must say, some very intense, very amazing things have happened since we last spoke. And I'm not even sure where to start. A couple of days ago, I was like, oh, I need to talk about this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And you know how life kind of moves on. But I'm still in this magical, amazing space. And I got to tell you guys, it's because I decided to embrace my dark side. What do I mean by this? Okay, so sometimes we are stuck and we're not seeing an outward change. And really, when we're manifesting, we really want the outside stuff to change very quickly. And we would also like it to change with little to no effort on our part. We just want to close our eyes. And then when we open them again, we are in a brand new house that is perfectly clean and organized. We have a maid, probably a butler, some fancy car or cars parked in our multiple car garage. And we have all the furniture and decorations we've ever wanted and a place for everything. And every time you open a door or a drawer, it's perfectly organized. You can have that. That is not some weird fantasy that you don't deserve or is outside of the realm of possibility. That's actually kind of mundane and lots of people have it. If you already have it, good for you. That is wonderful. There might be something else you want, or you wouldn't be watching this. And we'll talk about that. I'm also getting over whatever the heck it was I had in the last video. Whew, that cough, it hung on. So, pardon me, I do have some water. And I will try not to cough or clear my throat. But that's basically what I'm doing for a week, coughing and clearing my throat. So, see what I mean? If you're one of those people who fixates on the things they want, they're less likely to happen. And we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about the fact that there are kind of three categories of desire for what people want to see when they're manifesting. It's either love and personal relationships that can include family, friends, even strangers. We'll just put that in love and relationships. And love has its own special category. People want to fall in love and have a deep and amazing relationship with an amazing person. But that's true if you think about it about your friends and family. You want to have a deep, connected, honest, loving, kind, supportive relationship with those you're closest to. So it doesn't matter if it's friend, family, or lover. You want love, and all that kind of comes bundled together. Then there's this middle idea right here. I'm going to hold my hand right here for you, of health and well-being. Has to do with body image, self-esteem, how much do you move, how much fun do you have living in your body. And we are going to learn how to talk about our body in the way I'm doing now. We're going to point out that the America is obsessed with programming you to think that there's something wrong with you, so you will run out and buy something to fix it. When really, you're perfect just the way you are, and you just need to be reminded of that. And you kind of have to get used to how to settle into feeling your body and feeling good about yourself and feeling relaxed and at home in your body. And then asking yourself, what can my body do? What do I want to do while I have this body? I only have this life, this one time in this body. So What do I want to do with it? What fun do I want to have? How do I want to move? What makes me feel good? And that's a very different way of looking at your health and well being, your body image. It's a far cry from, I got to count my calories, and maybe I just won't eat carbs for the rest of my life, and I'll hit the gym 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. Number one, not realistic. And even if we take it and scale it back, and you're like, oh, I'm not like that, I do it realistically. And let me tell you for an hour about my workout routine and what foods I eat and why, and my supplements, and how I put this weird powder in my water before and this other weird powder and something else later, pre and post workout. And I used to be that person. I used to be totally obsessed with all things health and food and exercise and calories. So we'll go over that because, oh, and there's another category for this, which people I know, people I love struggle with. But in my family, we have a very definite way of looking at health, which is we are healthy. That's just it. We're healthy. There's like no arguing that point. There's no debating it. Everyone in my family, we just say, well, we're healthy. That's just the way it is. We don't get sick because we're healthy. We're healthy. And I didn't realize it till I started studying for the past, I don't even know, 5 years, 7 years. Totally intense deep dive last 3 years. Life-changing deep dive the last year of my life. And that's why I felt ready to share. Because I wasn't going to share anything that I wasn't living and hadn't experienced and really didn't know. So now I feel like I'm qualified to say these things. I have lived them. And one of these things is health. So the way my family speaks about health is exactly what all the manifestation experts are trying to convey. They're trying to teach people to speak the way my parents and my grandparents and my aunts and uncles and my whole family inherently taught me to speak this way. This is just our family culture. This is just the way it is. And visiting other people's families and listening to how they speak about their body and their health, or their illness, I should say, their disease, their disorder, they're constantly complaining. And they do this really weird thing. It's a competition to out sick each other. So one person will start the game and they'll complain about something. And then the next person will complain about something a little bit bigger. They'll commiserate. Oh, yeah, I know how you feel. Let me tell you about this thing that's aching me. And then, oh, I know how you feel. Well, let me tell you about this horrible thing that's going on with me. Oh, I know how you feel. Well, let me tell you about this really horrible thing that's happening to me. Oh, I totally get it. But let me tell you about this devastatingly horrific thing that's happening to me. And it goes on and on and on. And once they run out of things that are personally happening to their own body, then they start bragging about other people in their family and friends who have horrible things happening to them. And it's bizarre. This weird competition, and they delight in it. They make jokes about it. It's so funny. It's so like, oh, you just have to accept it because you're getting older. So, apparently you're going to get this list of horrible things that happen to you. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't fit in here. I don't know how to talk like this. I don't want to talk like this. And all of my family members are healthy. So I don't know what to say. I'm not going to brag about their health. It's just a statement of fact. That's how it is. And I can't relate to everyone complaining about aches and pains and disorders and diseases and medications and all that. We just don't do that in my family. It's just not done. So that leads me to a really incredible point. Really, really important point for me. This might ring a bell for you too. The way that other people talk about their bad health stuff is the way my family talks about money. So we have this sector over here that we need cleaning up. See, I told you I wasn't perfect. Okay, so I'm living this. we have this thing, this third category that most human beings are very concerned about. And if they're seeking manifestation, education, and mentoring, and they want to know how to take control of their life, their destiny, and their finances, this is number one on everybody's list. If they're trying to manifest, it's either love, some health thing that's going on in crisis and they need help with, or money crisis. So there's lack of love, lack of health, or lack of money. And money category can be ups and downs, where you're, feast or famine and iceberg, and then it melts and you got to make a, freeze a new iceberg. It can be inconsistent jobs, calamity, or everyday little things that, oh gosh, this thing popped up, and then this thing popped up, and this thing popped up. And every time I try to get ahead, I fall behind. So that can happen as well. So you've got a lot of that category of money stuff. That's what I realized is the same as the health stuff. It's a little different than the relationship stuff, and we'll get to why. But money and health are coming from the same source material, and people are talking about those two things in the same way. And I find that very interesting. So for decades, a couple of decades now, I have been struggling since I was a teenager with trying to understand how people talk about money so differently than the way I was raised to talk about money or even think about money. And some of it was shaped by experience, just the things that my family went through were not so pleasant sometimes. Sometimes they were great. Sometimes it was so much fun. But we had that feast or famine cycle over and over again. It was what I thought was normal. And there's nothing wrong with a feast or famine if your baseline is not below the line. If you're not going into poverty and you're just at a nice comfortable living, say 30 or 40, maybe 50,000 is your bottom. And then you peak out, you kind of like, oh, look, we got a windfall. Oh, I got a side gig. Oh, look, I got a bonus. Oh, look, whatever it is. Oh, look, I won a lottery. Like whatever it is that makes you go up. There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine to go up. It's when, if you come back down, if you go too low on that scale, that's when it gets dangerous for your health, for your mental well-being, for your relationships. It ruins everything else. It's just a cancer that spreads. It's a mold. It's a mildew. It's a filth. It's a corruption. And once you get that corruption into your operating system, it takes a lot to defrag it. Can you tell I'm a gamer? Not a computer expert. My husband is teaching me. Hopefully I'll become one like him. But I'm speaking a lot of techie stuff lately, so it might slip in. But really, this is talking about your brain as a computer and how to reprogram it. You have been programmed by your family, your friends, your society, and the media mixes all of that together. They take elements of what's popular in the culture at the time, along with psychology and what nostalgia means to each generation or their target audience, and they pull it all together and give you this perfect package that helps your brain get addicted to certain things or trigger certain things or react in certain ways. So we want to investigate what's going on with our brain and our body and our soul in order to understand how to stay in alignment in order to manifest. So there's two things you have to remember. We are made of vibrations and frequencies. And we are always moving energy. This is always happening within us, and inside of us, outside of us, around us, through us. This is always happening. So if we have these energies moving through us, when they get blocked, that's when we start to see problems. There is a specific way that energy moves through the body. It's exactly like the Earth, the poles of the Earth. So we have a polarity, and energy can, from one side, comes from the top down the spine and out and around and keeps going around like that. The other one comes from the bottom and up the spine to the top of the head and out and around. And it's really hard to do this at the same time, right? But when they cross in the middle, we're making the figure eight. So really the energy, we don't see it as this, but it's going like this. So it's going through us, but there's two of them. There's a double helix going through at all times. DNA is a double helix, your energy is a double helix. Your heart pumps blood through the same way. It folds and it comes in and out in a little figure eight dance. So most of the universe operates off of this sacred, figure eight. And I'll have more of that for you in a book that's going to come out very soon. It'll be a digital ebook explaining more about that sacred figure eight and the guideposts that are on it. There's some things you can look for as you manifest to tell you you're on the right path, and to tell you if you're operating on inner motivation or outer motivation. So let's get into that. Inner motivation is the space that is connected to your heart, your soul, your feelings. It is that which you are and that which you want. You can't help it. That's just what you want. Then you have your mind that helps you discern and thinks logically so you can act accordingly in the real world. And then you have that gut feeling, that little whisper, that tiny still voice. You have to get very quiet and still to hear that motivation, that little push, that little guide, that little idea, that little whisper. And that's your soul connected to source speaking to you. So when you say you have a gut feeling, you really do. You have a heart feeling and a gut feeling. And those two work together to send signals to your brain that your brain is supposed to interpret a lot better than it does. I think maybe the mouth gets in the way and the ears get in the way and the eyes get in the way because we are bombarded by distractions. And we really want to talk. And we really want to do things and be active and consume media and entertainment and information. And we really want to talk to our friends and our family and our lover. And we really want to have fun all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. If your life is perfect and you have the perfect lover who you love and adore, they love and adore you. You have the perfect family, perfect friends, perfect health, perfect career, perfect finances, perfect spirituality. You're perfectly fulfilled. You should be having fun all the time. That is the essence of a well-balanced life, and it is what we all want, or we wouldn't be into manifestation. What's also true is if you are out of alignment, if you are out of balance, that's why you're seeking this information. So the irony is you want a life that is carefree, absolute freedom, and fun all the time with no effort, zero effort. But it ironically takes a great deal of effort to get to that in reality, to make sure that the balance happens so that you can live a life that is fulfilling and fun. Your guide is that desire up against the reality. I want my life to be easy and fun. Is it? I want to feel good. Do I? There you go. Your heart and your gut work together to tell you if you're on the right path or not, and how to stay right there in that little sweet spot, that little pocket where you need to be. Here's an example. You go to work and you feel bad. You do not like being there. And it is very difficult to get through your day. So by the time you get home, You're not motivated to do anything fun. You just, I don't know, sit like a blob watching whatever entertainment's in front of you. Or you eat yourself into a little sleepy coma and just go to sleep. Or you indulge in maybe drinking or some form of drugs. And you're an adult. Nothing wrong with whatever's legal in your where you live in having a little nightcap or a little whatever, but we're talking like blotto here. We're talking habitual. And you know you're not happy. Logic says, why are you going to that job? Your heart says, why are you going to that job? And the little still whisper is telling you, hey, look over here. Look at this on the internet. I think this is what you really want to do. So if you choose to ignore all of those signs that are coming from within you, and you continue to go to a job that makes you feel bad and ignore other opportunities, and then you go hang out with friends, maybe when you have enough energy or you feel motivated because you really want to go drinking with them or go out to dinner with them or just, like I said, hang out with them, you're talking, and all of a sudden that game that I told you about where everybody's playing that weird I have worse health game, let's swap it. Okay. And now we're talking about money and career and job and a little bit of relationships. And we are bonding with our friends by complaining about, oh, well, my job is terrible. Let me tell you all about it. Oh, you ain't seen nothing. You think that's bad? Let me tell you all about my horrible job. And then, oh no, I've got a story that'll top that. No, me. It's not until someone like me points it out to you that you realize you've been wasting a lot of time doing a lot of complaining and not much else. Well, that was a dramatically well-timed clearing of my throat. So if you suddenly are having an epiphanous realization while you're listening to me and you're thinking, oh, I'm guilty of this. I do take a weird guilty pleasure in complaining about things that happen to me at my job. But, it's cool because I'm funny. So I'm doing it in a very droll way. Everyone around me really appreciates this. I mean, I'm hilarious. I make them laugh by telling them these horrible, outrageous stories about my job and the people I work with. Okay, so let me tell you a little secret about the universe and a secret about manifesting. If you spend all of your time complaining about your job, your, low pay and horrible hours and whatever it is you hate about your job, and you're complaining about your coworkers, you're putting them down and talking bad about them behind their back and looking down your nose at them, and they're so horrible and you're so great and they're this and you're this. Okay, so you've made them into the bad guys and you're the good guy. And they have to be evil and therefore you must be good. This is huge for the ego. This is what the ego feeds on. But it's not what helps you manifest. Absolutely not. You will never manifest what you want from that place. It doesn't exist in that place. So you cannot bring it into your life. You cannot attract it. If that's what you are engaged in, if that is the behavior that you are choosing, then you are sending out the vibration, the frequency of that energy. And the universe will hear you and say, oh, you like that. I'll send you more. And then all of a sudden, your job gets a whole lot worse. And everything around you that you hate about your job amplifies. And those coworkers that you were making fun of, they are worse than ever. And what we don't see in these moments is that if we are working in an environment and complaining about that environment, we are a part of that environment. We are the same as everyone there. No better, no worse. The same. And guess what? They're talking bad about you when they go home and they have a six pack at your expense. If you are not in an environment where people are kind to one another and supportive, and I don't mean fake, I don't mean nice, nice in it. No, I mean really kind, genuinely kind. They genuinely like each other. They're all there for the same purpose. You can tell everyone likes what they're doing and wants to be there. That's the job you want. That's the place you want to work. And then you're not talking bad about your colleagues. You're going out with them to fun things that are related to what you do. So you're taking what you do for your job, what you get paid to do, and expanding it to the people who become your life and the activities that become your life. And everything grows out of the center of what the heart wants. So if you ignore what your heart wants, it's at your own peril. And that's what I've learned. What I've learned is I was in a career that I loved. The job itself, like what I was doing, I loved it. But the environment was half-half. And this is what I mean. My colleagues were spectacular. I love my colleagues. They were just amazing. And I say I love my colleagues because I still love them. They are great people, great friends. We didn't have a lot in common. So when I was with them, it was fascinating to listen to them and learn about their lives and their experiences. And we had enough in common to have a good time when we would hang out. But it was just work brought us together. And when I was no longer at that job, I left, willingly resigned, said, okay, I got to go. I'm giving my 2 weeks, got to go. After I left, I don't hang out with them anymore. And I'm sad about it. I miss them. But again, it would be awkward because I wasn't in the perfect environment where I made the purpose of the job my life and the people in that environment my people, so that I kind of brought it all together. I didn't do that. I kept my work separate. And that's one of those things that might be a sign. If you put up a firewall between your real life and your work life should be a part of your real life. It shouldn't be the separate thing you do for money. You're never going to be happy doing that. Now, should you immediately quit your job and not have a paycheck to pay your bills? No. Here's the disclaimer. Please do not quit your job just because you have this epiphanous realization and you realize what I'm saying is true. Good. I'm glad. I'm really glad you figured this out. Start looking for a new job that will make you happy. Start with a plan and write it in a journal and figure it out, and then start listening, start meditating, get still and quiet and start listening to your heart and your gut, and your brain will eventually get quiet enough to figure it out and receive these messages. And the perfect job will appear. That's how you manifest. You get in such great alignment with what you want that you suddenly can see it. What looked like an obstacle before is now a way through. I love the movie Labyrinth. I absolutely adore it. And one of these fun tricks, similar one, appears in Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, which is my second favorite. Raiders is first, of course. And Temple of Doom, although it comes in third place, I love it. Really, really warm, soft spot for Temple of Doom. But, oh, pardon me, my phone is calling. So when I watch Labyrinth, and like I said, there's a similar trick in Temple of Doom. Oh, sorry, not Temple of Doom. In Last Crusade. They use movie illusions. So you're looking at what you think in Labyrinth is a solid wall. And there's nowhere to go. How do you get into the labyrinth? And then movie magic, you realize it's an absolute match to the wall behind it. And there's this illusion going on. And she can walk through a wall and go down the next hallway. So people can walk through walls because that's a great metaphor, really great visual metaphor for how coming into alignment works. So when you see that you are looking at the world a certain way and you feel like there's a block in front of you and there's no way out and there's no door, and then you shift, you get into emotional vibrational alignment, and then suddenly you see it. You see that there's a way. You see how these things come together. You see it. So that's another little trick. What else? So what I need you to start doing is focusing on your language. And it needs to be not just fake positive. It needs to start coming from a different place within you. It needs to start coming from a more honest source, which is what you want. So this is what I want you to do. And we'll pick up again later, but I got to go pick up my kid first. Okay, so we're going to go from this point of view. I want you to work on this. This is your assignment. I want you to start paying attention to what you want. And I want you to write it down. Start a journal, start a note in your phone, but start talking about in your head, start thinking about, and start feeling. Don't talk about it with anybody else. Not yet. This is for you. A lot of what we're going to talk about is about you and for you and by you and about you. And you just don't get to pawn it off on anybody else. It's yours. So this is part of the taking responsibility. We've already talked about in the taking responsibility for all of our actions. And we'll get into taking responsibility for mistakes in another episode. But today we're talking about, what do you want? We have to start there. If you don't even know what you want, who knows? Who's keeping that information from you? Who's going to tell you? Who's in charge of you? And of course, the answer is no one's in charge of you but you. So we have to start with, what do you want? If you don't know what you want, that's the very first problem. For those of you who really, really, really know what you want, like, oh, I want a spouse. Duh, I want to fall in love. That was easy. Maybe not. Maybe that's not what you want. Maybe I want money. Maybe that's not what you want. Maybe you have a goal. Maybe you want to do something. So we're going to look past the money at what it is you really want. And yes, it may be buying something, but maybe it's doing something. Maybe it's going somewhere. Start thinking about what it is your heart desires, not what your mind wants, not what society says you need or should want or should have. What do you really, 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 really want? Okay, I'm going to take a little break and then I'll be back. Until then, be well.